Jason Walker, Walker Tea Review, where we're jumping in to look at online tea today. Our company is Rishi, and we're going to go ahead and look at our package here. This is Rishi's Organic Silver Needle that we have with us today. This is a 1 ounce package that runs for $8. Information about Rishi that you may want to know. It is certified organic by the USDA. It is also certified by the Kosher Supervisors of Wisconsin. Rishi Tea is headquartered in Wisconsin. Information that they give us, I'm going to give a little information what we have here on our label. This is a reserve white tea with sublime sweet flavor, savory finish. Origin is Fujian, China. Their website indicates that this is also a first flush bud. Okay, so that's useful to know. Recommended instructions for preparation: 1 tablespoon per 8 ounces of water, 185 degrees Fahrenheit for your water temperature, and a steep time of 4 to 5 minutes. Let's jump in, get this ready to go, and then we'll talk a little bit more as we go along. One of the things that they clearly mark on the back of their package says, "Let your palate be your guide. You decide how to make your tea." These are just suggestions from them. They say for a stronger cup or pot, add a little more leaf. White teas are delicate. Their flavor can be light or delicate. So we want to bring out lots of flavor. So we're going to quickly rinse, and then we're going to give these boys and girls in the pot a nice warm soaking bath. Now, as we do that, we are also going to have a look at our leaves. And the reason we look at the leaves is so that if you are in the market looking at leaves, wanting to choose a tea, how would you recognize if this is a worthwhile tea, if this tea will bring out the flavors that you want, if it's recognizable to you? One of the things that we notice before we jump in and zoom in on our leaves, we do want to talk a little bit about some of our smells that we're getting from our dry leaf. There are the characteristic dry leaf scents, all right, and white tea scents that we get. One of the unique things that we noticed here about this particular silver needle, there are some unique scents. There are some kind of chamomile, minty, almost a little bit of cinnamon. There's a spice element to this organic silver needle, which you do not find in all silver needles. So that adds a little bit of uniqueness to this particular variety or flavor here. Let's zoom in now and look at our leaves a little bit. We have some good sized leaves. We have lots of down. We have our characteristic silver colors, silvery green, showing that these were young. These were taken from the plant before the chlorophyll really got into them. Okay, so good sign as far as our leaf style. Let's go ahead. If you want to compare, you see our 1 1/4 inch long paper clip, and you have leaves that are nearly that long. The reason we do this is so that if you were to go and look at your leaves and compare, it would be easy for you to take your paper clip with you somewhere to compare, lay it down. Give yourself a guidepost as you look at teas, compare them as you shop around and taste new teas. You do have a little bit of open leaves that are a darker, richer green that we have, for example, right here. Okay. Other things that we want to note. As I opened this package for the very first time, I gently squeezed on the sides of our package. And when I did squeeze on the side, there was a puff of downy type dust, which comes from a very downy leaf and a very delicate leaf like a silver needle. So that to me was a sign that these were laden with all the down, that the way it was processed preserved it, and that those were kept as well as possible. So those are good signs and good characteristics of a white tea. Now, we've had some time. We have a small pot. We had good warm water. We've added plenty of leaf into our smaller pot so that we can adjust to a briefer steep time. Again, let your palate be your guide. So given our steep time, our amount of leaf with our teaspoon here, let's go ahead now and get a close-up on what our cup looks like, what our liquid looks like. This is a fairly golden color that we have, characteristic of a white tea. Even without holding this cup up to the light, I see a little bit of a cloud, and that cloud comes from the down that has been released into our cup. Okay, so it looks rich, it looks inviting, and it has a lot of welcome scents to it already. So we've had a little bit of time now to let this bring out some of the air. We want to see what we have inside, in store for us. I haven't poured this out very long, so it's probably still hot. The delicate flavors that are characteristic of white teas are here as well in Rishi's. There are fragrances or aromas that I sense like cucumber. I think that's a dominant fragrance or aroma in this cup. The body, it is very light. It's not as thick and brothy, but it does fill the mouth with a very sensitive gossamer effect, which is pleasant and which is characteristic of a good white tea. Flavors here are, we did not have the chamomile as much from our dry leaf that carried into our cup. So if you're looking for that kind of caramel minty, it may reveal itself at a cooler temperature, which would be characteristic of this tea, of this particular tea, not necessarily all silver needles. Let me give it another scent. I'll give it another try, see if I can detect any of those chamomile, cinnamon, minty type aromas. No, they didn't really transfer into our cup, which is fine because that's not really a distinguished or a memorable characteristic of a lot of your white teas. So, because of the uniqueness and the richness that we had in our dry leaf, the characteristics that we saw, distinguishing characteristics of our dry leaf, this is what we've come to expect. Our cup was strong, was consistent, was bold, was what we wanted from a white tea. Good flavors that allowed us to experiment and expand, to say we don't have to necessarily follow these rules to get a good cup of tea. This is the kind of tea that you can, for example, take to work, enjoy a quick cup, or you can take it home and really draw out flavors. Having said that, this tea would roll in with a score of around 92 because of its good quality, its consistency, its ability to carry and embody and represent a good white tea, a silver needle. So, Rishi's organic silver needle, organic and kosher, good price, and I welcome you to take this, give it a ride on its own with your palate. Let your palate tell you what it says, what you think. I'm Jason Walker. This is Walker Tea Review.